Welcome to the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. There are some people who rock a Lange und Söhne, FP Journe, and even Richard Mille as their everyday brands. So it's important to note that the definition of an everyday watch can of course be highly subjective, depending on an individual's specific requirements, preferences, and financial constraints. But the vast majority of us can get behind Teddy's idea that an everyday watch is one that combines versatility with specifications that are suited for day-to-day needs. It can be dressed up or down, it's highly legible in most conditions, and it's water-resistant enough for worry-free daily wear. For example, one that is rated to at least 50 meters. It's important that the watch be inexpensive since it will spend considerably more time being worn on the wrist than being stored in a secure location. As a result, our list of the 10 best watches for everyday use begins at less than $1,000 and ends at less than $2,000 in total. Stick with us until the end of this video so that you can get more ideas on which everyday watch will best suit your standards. As usual, before proceeding, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on our latest videos. To begin, let us consider a few options within the area of micro brands. Atlas GMT. The opaline dial version with the blue accent on the GMT hand is a very well-made watch. The bracelet is great and the on-the-fly adjustment works well. These watches are finished very well and can compete with any mainstream brand in this price range. The bracelet is also very comfortable to wear, and the clasp is long but well made. These are milled pieces with beveled edges, which differentiates them from the rest of the case's components. Hidden features, such as the way the GMT hand above the applied indices of the dial is curved at the end, which make it seem more intriguing as you look at it more closely, are noticeable and draw attention. This is one of the eye-catching aspects of the watch. 38.5mm case, 10.2mm of thickness, lug-to-lug measurement of 47mm, which means that this will operate closer to a 39 to 39.5mm on wrist, 150 meters of water resistance, which is more than adequate, and an automatic movement with a 28.932 inner diameter. The Formix watch is the next one on our list, and it's easily one of the greatest watches you can get for the money, regardless of the brand. Formix Essence. Formix has been around for nearly 20 years, but it has only been in recent years that they have started to reinvent the brand with some new models and some fresh vitality. The Essence is largely responsible for putting this brand back on the map. If you're unfamiliar with Formix and the people working there, you should know that the company's owners have extensive experience in the original equipment manufacture or OEM manufacturing of specific watch parts like bracelets and clasps, which allows them to administer this into a segment that typically does not do this level of finished components. All of their bracelets are fantastic, and they all use innovative technologies, such as unique extension systems and a case suspension mechanism that allows the center dial to rotate within the case when the wearer bends their wrist. It's also fascinating that they suggest it aids in shock tolerance. These are available in 39mm and 43mm, have a thickness of 10mm on the 39mm variant, 45.5mm from lug to lug, 100 meters of water resistance, and also have a COSC certified movement on the inside with a sapphire crystal variety of different dial colors to choose from. This did just see a price increase. We've been kind of seeing this across the industry. However, even for around $1,500, these are phenomenal watches. Oak and Oscar Olmstead. This watch is definitely on the verge of maybe being acceptable for dressing up to any degree. Nevertheless, it's probably a bit more casual compared to the rest of the offering here, at least most of the given here. And with the white dial version, you have a bit more freedom with your outfit options. This watch company is based in Chicago and hails from the Midwest. They are known for producing some really high-quality timepieces, a case with a diameter of 38mm and a thickness of 10.8mm, measuring 44.9mm from lug to lug. You do get water resistance of 100 meters, as well as the SW300 on the inside, which is essentially a slimmer and more profiled version of the SW200, and sapphire crystal. Additionally, they had a sandwich-like style dial with a stencil-like look on the numerals and markers on the dial itself. You do have some different dial options to choose from. However, if we had to choose one, we'd go with the white. However, this watch falls right in the middle of the price range of $1,000 to $2,000. And if you're looking for something a little bit different from the micro space, we think this is a good option to take into consideration as well. Seiko SPB279, 37mm thickness of 12.1mm from lug to lug with a total of 43.6mm. Despite the dressier vibes emanating from this watch, it's equipped with a water-resistant rating of 100 meters and a Seiko 6R31 automatic movement. That is probably the number one point of criticism when looking at these watches, along with the presence of a sapphire crystal on the front, which has caused some people to be a bit resistant to the idea. These people probably wanted to see some of the higher beat frequency movements that are housed inside of this watch for the price. Although King Seiko is probably not as well known as Grand Seiko or regular Seiko, these models pay homage to a release from 1965, with which they did an excellent job, despite the fact that King Seiko is probably not as well known. Nomos Club Campus. The following timepiece comes from Germany and is manufactured by Nomos. The Nomos Club collection would argue that the Club Campus is the model that receives the most attention from consumers. This is a watch for Nomos' entry-level position, and the 10:01 minute mark does contain some light-hearted overtones. The way that they express their creativity with color and the different palettes that they choose, this watch is also geared more towards a younger audience, with the Club Campus being more for that college graduate that's part of their messaging and marketing. With all of this in mind, you tend to have some more just playful characteristics that might not be perfect for every day, but they also have some more restrained options and conservative options that you can go for. One of the available case sizes is 36mm, but there are also other case sizes available. These watches also have an extended lug-to-lug distance, which may rule some potential buyers out of the running. Therefore, buyers would be aware that the watches will appear to be at least 1mm larger on the wrist than the proposed case size. On the interior, there is water resistance of 100 meters. If you want to get the more affordable option, you're going to have to get the stainless steel back. If you want to spend a few $100s more, you can get the open sapphire exhibition case back that will allow you a view of that nice looking movement. On the inside, you have the Nomos Alpha Manual Caliber, which is beautiful to look at. Oris Big Crown ProPilot. This come in a variety of dial colors, usually with a sunburst effect. The Caliber 400 versions of these watches are just shown off, and they look very solid. 41 will probably look best with a 40mm case, 12.4mm thickness, 48.6mm lug-to-lug distance, 100-meter water resistance, and an SW200 movement and sapphire crystal on the inside. Even though Oris is mostly known for its dive watches, like the Diver 65 and the Aquas, which are the modern versions of their best dive watches, it's amazing what the Big Crown family and the ProPilot have to offer. The ProPilot is often overlooked. Tudor 1926. This is a really simple watch that combines traditional elements with some modern Tudor DNA. It's a good underdog because nobody usually talks about this watch when they think of Tudor, but it's one of those pieces that is made to be as versatile as possible. There are different dial colors and case sizes to choose from, and the watch is water resistant to 100 meters. It also has a Salida movement on the inside, which is why it costs less. The watch is a nod to the year 1926 when the name Tudor was registered by Hans Wilsdorf and his partners. It has leaf-shaped hands and a pattern in the middle of the dial that looks like a gouge. There are some people who will say that this is more of a generic offering, and you know that's a fair take. But we're talking about everyday options and maximizing versatility, and also maybe maximizing your dollar with getting a brand like a Tudor on your wrist for less than $2,000. And this is where 1926 is in a position to really maybe be a viable option for many people. A common favorite is the opaline version with the blue accents and those numerals. Ball Fireman Enterprise. Next up, let's have a look at the ball with the Fireman Enterprise. It's sad that the price of this watch, which was available for less than $1,000 for a considerable amount of time, has recently increased by a couple of $100s. Even though it does not offer the same amount of value that it did in the past, however, it's still a really solid and durable tool watch that can still walk the line between dressy and casual attire. However, if you buy this, you may not be able to be dressed up to the full degree in something like a suit or something similar, but it can certainly be dressed up with a sports coat. This might very well get the job done, but that's kind of where you want to be in terms of a daily watch. This one comes with a casing that is 40mm in diameter and is offered with either a black or white dial. It has a thickness of 11.3mm solid from lug to lug, which enables it to wear quite true to its 40mm size at 48.5mm. 100 meters of water resistance, which makes it great. It also has an SW200 movement on the interior, and because these watches are going to be displaying some tritium, the surface area of the tritium tubes within them is going to be significantly more compact than the surface area of the tritium tubes within some of the other ball offerings that are more on the cusp of potentially showing that off as one of the more unique characteristics of their designs. This is a great option for both people starting out, as it satisfies both extremes. The most affordable choice for the ball watch brand. Thus, if you are interested in purchasing a ball watch, you should start here. If you are concerned about getting a good deal for your money, you may consider purchasing this watch even if its price has increased. Sinn 556. The luxury world wants to include Sinn on our list because in our opinion, they make some of the greatest watches available for between $1,000 and $2,000. The Sinn 556 is the model that we're going to look at here since it's one of their most popular models. Very comparable to the Ball Fireman Enterprise, it has increased in price over the past few years, which I think has caused some to maybe look in other directions. But even for $1,500 for it on the bracelet, it's still a solid watch. Despite the fact that it may not be the definitive watch for $1,000 as it was claimed years prior, this timepiece has a 38.5mm case, an 11mm thickness, a 45.5mm lug-to-lug distance, and a 200-meter water resistance rating, which means that it is more than robust here. Automatic SW200 on the inside, which is going to be of a higher grade, so these are going to be movements that are regulated. I've always found that Sinn is very good at regulating their watches, so expect this to be the case here. The sapphire crystal has a double AR coating, which some people might not like, but it's one of the things that makes these watches stand out. It makes the hands and dial elements stand out almost like there's no crystal at all. There are some really cool effects that can happen with these watches, and they're so bright and utilitarian that the clear markings on the eye and the ID make them easy to read. Longines Conquest. So since we had to stop at $2,000, we couldn't include the Longines Spirit here. However, they do have another good option, the Longines Conquest. The channel's favorite version is the 39mm one, probably in black. This one seems to be the best for getting a watch that fits the everyday style of this type of video. Its size measures at 39mm casing with 11.5mm in thickness, which is impressive considering that this has a water resistance of 300 meters. Additionally, it's 48mm lug-to-lug, so it's going to wear like a 40mm watch, especially when factoring in the large crown that is located at the 3 o'clock position, crystal made of sapphire. This watch is an ordinary version of a diving watch, which traditionally has no bezel. Several individuals may be put off by the crown and think, I probably won't use this every day. But for those who want a no-frills, high-quality Swiss-made watch for just north of $1,200, these are some excellent options to consider. One more peculiar feature of the Conquest is that some of the models will have looms on them, while other models will not have looms on them. Because of this, it's important to verify this information before making a purchase. If you like lume on your watches, of course, you should consider this. But if you don't, then you should also consider it. And those are so far the updates on the best everyday watches ranging from $1,000 to $2,000. What can you say about the information in this video? Let us know what you think by leaving a comment below. Also, please share, like, and subscribe to this video. This is Luxury World, and we'll see you next time.